Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com. One of you asked, and I'm happy to answer, is the new reissued Brilliant Classics 65 CD Handel edition the same as the previous Brilliant Classics 65 CD Handel edition? Don't ask me why I have both of these, but I guess someone has to do it, right? So I'm the guy. So the answer, short answer, yes. It seems to be exactly the same. I went through it with reasonable care. You have the same CDs with the same repertoire done by the same people, and if they've substituted something, because it's exactly the same repertoire, they've been very clever about it. I didn't notice, but but I went through a lot of it, and just to make sure. And let's go through it, because I looked and I don't think we've covered this before. And it does have 65 CDs, and that's a lot of Handel, although there are no operas. But there are some Odes and other things, so you could, get around that. So here we have, the box is rather simple, as these are standardized for the new release of all these different composers. It has the garage door opening. You click your remote, bink, and then it opens like magic. And here are your CDs, laid out in the little boxy. And you do get a list in the cover here of everything that's inside. See, it's sort of hard to see. There, is that better? But we're going to go through this thing disc by disc. Oh my God. And they're kind of color-coded too. If you look at the top, it sort of helps you triangulate where you are by the color coding there. So there's this little flimsy booklet thing here, which does not even give you track listings. So you've got to look at it by disc, which is why the printed thing on the garage door opening inside is helpful to know what you're looking at. So let's do it in the clumps that they've clumpified them. First clump is orchestral music and that kind of stuff, right? Is that what that says? I'm looking here. Yes, I can't even read it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The bottom line is it's the same as the previous box. So if you have the previous box, you don't need to worry about this one. So we've got the water music with Concerto Köln under Anton Steck. Let me see. Concertmaster and rehearsal direction. I get it. Okay, so they're playing like sort of conductorless. This is from 2007. And who's it licensed from? Oh, Adel. Yeah, of course. That's the Berlin Classics people. So anyway, there's that. And then we've got the fireworks music and some sinfonias, whatever those are. The Concerti Grossi Opus 3. And this is all Concerto Köln, by the way. Oh, this is Max Palmer with the Neues Bachisches Collegium Musicum Leipzig. I like Palmer's stuff. It was all out originally on Capriccio, remember? They did lovely work. They were really a good group. So that they also do the Concerti Grossi Opus 6. So that's this three piles of things there. And the Concerti a Due Core. I love those pieces. They're so much fun. And let's see, organ concertos. Oh my goodness, organ concertos. 4 discs. 5 discs. Of organ concertos. Can you believe it? Where did they find them all? Well, let's see what we got here. Organ concertos, Opus 4. Yeah, well, there's Opus 4 and there's Opus 7. So it's going to be 4 discs anyway, basically. This is with the Stuttgart Chamber Orchestra, Christian Schmidt organ, under Nicole Mott. And they're good performances. So that's all here, doing all of those suckers. There they are. It's quite a body of work. People don't talk about Handel's organ concertos that much, largely because he didn't write the solo part down. Oops. There's a lot of improvisation required. Then we've got oboe concertos with the City of London Sinfonia under Nicholas Ward. And we know who those people are. This is from HNH International, which is Naxos, essentially. The Aaron Rondo Suite in G minor attributed to Handel, and the overture in B flat to Otho, the opera. All right, so that's that. Then we've got so this next clump, wait a minute, I think we've got, is chamber music, right? Yes, this is chamber music. So you've got flute sonatas, with L'École d'Orphée. Susan Shepard, John Bill, Lucy Caroline harpsichord. Who's this licensed from? This is 1991. Licensed. Oh, CRD. These were beautiful performances. These CRD recordings. They're very nice. Oboe and violin sonatas. CRD again. These people again. So that's nice. Trio sonatas 1. The Opus 2 trio sonatas, which may or may not be by Handel. Nobody's sure. Let's see. This is this is all the CRD stuff. So that's really good. That was really a smart thing to do. And let's see if we go, look at all that. That's all the same thing. Then we have recorder sonatas, which is actually a Brilliant Classics recording of recorder sonatas. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them with Eric Bosgraf recorder and Francesco Corti harpsichord, 56 minutes, which is surely all of the recorder sonatas any sane person can tolerate. Really? All right, so then we've got, let's see, keyboard music. Suite de pièces pour clavecin. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Oh, my God. All right, so there we go. Yes, lots of clavecin thingies going on. And they're all delightful and fun to listen to. And this is, again, with Michael Borgsteady harpsichord, a double manual Franco-Flemish harpsichord Revalement by Fabrizio Akinfora and Thomas Power, Amsterdam, after Johannes Ruckers. Well, that makes a big difference, doesn't it? Actually, there's a whole bunch of harpsichords. They use some different ones here. But, that's the one with the longest title. So, this is all charming, well played. I dipped into it. I haven't played all 500 discs of it yet. But, but I like it. It's okay. There's lots of little tiny works and things that you've never heard of, little airs and preludiums and preambulums and, parsnipinums and whatever you call them. Romantic organ transcriptions. Oh, these are romantic organ. Oh, this is fun with Massimo Gabba at the Mascioni organ of the Church of San Giovanni Evangelista in Alessandria, India. 76 minutes of romantic organ transcriptions of Handel. It's a fun disc, by the way. It was issued separately. I remember that. At least I think I remember that. Then we've got, this is vocal things, cantatas and stuff, solo vocal stuff. We have the 9 German arias, which are wonderful, by the way, and with Arlene Auger. Fabulous, fabulous performances. And this is licensed from, it's from Adel as well. Okay, pretty cool. But yes, that's really great. Then we have soprano cantatas. These cantatas are fabulous. And they did a whole series of them. Five volumes of them with really, really good singers. It features Marco Vitali and Contrasto Armonico, Stephanie True soprano. Really, really well done. It was real competition for that Glossa series, which I adore, of all the Italian cantatas with instruments. And here they are again, or at least a lot of them, not all of them. You do get Aminta e Filide, which is great, which is just terrific. And there's also, here they are. I love these pieces. Just listen to them. They're wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. So then we've got the Italian duets with Harmonices Mundi under Claudio Astronio with Gemma Bertagnoli and Suzanne Ryden. And they're wonderful pieces, too. They're nicely performed here. It's terrific. Okay, we have The Alchemist, incidental music, and Apollo and Daphne, which is tons of fun. These are big cantatas. They're almost operatic, single-act thingies. Let's see. Tom Saul, bass, Nicola Wymus, mezzo-soprano, Michael Borgsteady, harpsichord, Musica ad Renum, under Jed Vence. They're a good group. They're usually a good group, and so these are reliable. And then we have Aci Galatea e Polifemo. Fabulous work. Absolutely fantastic with Contrasto Armonico and Marco Vitali. So you're in good shape. So that is one of the highlights of this particular edition. And these were Brilliant Classics original recordings, I believe, right? They aren't licensed from anybody. Nope, that's what I thought, because I was getting them individually, and then they sort of disappeared. I have them, some of them, but not all of them, so I'm glad they're in here, actually. They're also in the other one, so, I have them twice. Lucky me. All right, now we got Odes and other things. Alexander's Feast. So Alexander's Feast is with Alfred Deller, countertenor, Mark Deller, countertenor, a whole family of countertenors. Oh boy, I'll bet Christmas caroling was fun with that crew. Honor Shepard, Mary Thomas, Max Worthy, Maurice Bevan, the Oriana Concert Choir and Orchestra under Alfred Deller, and then the Chamber Orchestra of the Vienna Symphony under Alfred Deller in the Ode for the Birthday of Queen Anne. The problem with Alfred Deller performances is that you have to tolerate Alfred Deller. Now, I know there are people who like Alfred Deller. I think he is grotesque. I really do. He's just unlistenable as far as I'm concerned, unless he's doing one of those creepy, alien, sexless countertenor things that Benjamin Britten wrote for him. Like Oberon or whatever it is in A Midsummer Night's Dream, or a Death in Venice or something. Alfred Deller was like everyone's countertenor. You trotted him out whenever you needed him, and a lot of times when you didn't need him. And he hooted his way through whatever. He was a very serious musician. I'm sure he was a lovely person. I just can't stand his voice. Coronation anthems. Okay, the Holland Boys Choir, the Dutch Baroque Orchestra under David Wilcox. Well, isn't that fun? From 1996. And you also get another organ concerto. So there you go. I mean, they're not the greatest, but they'll do. The Dettingen Te Deum. Soloistvereinigung und Großes Chor der Berliner Rundfunks and the Berliner Rundfunk Symphonie Orchestra under Helmut Koch. Okay. I mean, it's nice. It's all right. The Ode for the Birthday of Queen Anne. Well, we need more than one of those, don't we? And let's see, and the Utrecht Te Deum. This is with Dietrich Knote and the Kammer Orchestra Berlin and the Berliner Singakademie. Well, they were the Bach group, the Singakademie, Mendelssohn's crew, and all that stuff who he worked with. Okay, so there you go. So you get those two things. And then the Ode for St. Cecilia's Day with the Handel Festspiel Orchestra Halle under Christian Klutig. Or is it Klutig? Klutig, pardon me. So yeah, okay, fine. These are good, but they're not, these things have all been done supremely well, Then we have oratorios. Yay, the oratorios. Messiah. All right, this is a good Messiah. It's with, let's see, who is it? Lynn Dawson, Hilary Summers, John Mark Ainsley, Alistair Miles, Choir of King's College under Stephen Cleoberry and the Brandenburg Consort. So they went out of their way to get a decent one of those. La Resurrezione. Oh, I love this piece. It's so much fun. And this is Marco Vitali and Contrasto Armonico. So this is going to be good. The singing is insanely virtuosic in that piece. And, you'll decide which singers you like best. But the performance is a good one. Jephthah. Yes, Jephthah. The RAIS Kammerchor and the Academy for Alta Music Berlin under Marcus Creed. Well, that's really nice with John Mark Ainsley, Michael George, Catherine Denley, Christiane Ulze, Alex Kohler, and Julia Gooding. So there you go. All right, well, that's fun. Nice to have. A couple hours of, Sturm und Drang there about, sacrificing your daughter and, turning her into a virgin and all that stuff. The conclusion, pardon me, that's 3 discs. Israel and Egypt. This is, look at that. Okay. The Orchestra der Deutschen Handel-Solisten under Anthony Brommel with the Chamber Choir of Europe. Well, the Chamber Choir of Europe is a wonderful group. Suzanne Cornelius, Antonia Borve, Tim Mead, and a bunch of other people we don't care about. So, it's all choruses anyway. So that's the fun thing. Judas Maccabeus. Oh, this is a classic, I have to say. And there's a bunch of these in here. Heather Harper, Helen Watts, Alexander Young, John Shirley Quirk. Oh, yes, all when they were young and vibrant with the Amor Artist Chorale and the English Chamber Orchestra under Johannes Samari. I grew up with these. These were all Vanguard recordings. Yeah, and oh gosh, I mean, when I was in college in the 70s and whatnot, these were new and they were exciting because they were quasi-scholarly for the day, and they had wonderful singers, and the performances are really good. And, you know, everyone sort of pisses on them now because they aren't the latest period instrument thing. But, yeah, the casts were really strong, and Samari knew what he was doing. It's good stuff. So then we have Samson. Samson, oh, yes, and this is the Utah Symphony and Maurice Abravanel. I mean, what's not to like? Some of these have cuts. You know, they're a little, you know, they're not totally note complete and all that, but, you know, it's like no one's missing anything particularly. And who have it? Jan Pierce, tenor. Oh, Phyllis Curtin. Oh, my gosh. I mean, I knew her when I was in high school. Wow, baby, she was a fabulous Kunst diva. Louise Parker, Roy Samuelson, Malcolm Smith, Kenny Whitlock. I mean, it's okay. American provincial Handel, but I mean, they knew what they were doing. And the University of Utah Symphonic Chorus, not the Mormon Tabernacle Choir, which is actually better because you want it to be a little smaller. It's not a choral, you know, chorus extravaganza. It's for soloists mostly. So yeah, I mean, I have sentimental feeling for that. And it was Vanguard. These are all these Vanguard recordings. And here we've got Johannes Samari with a typo. They throw an N at the end of his name, and this typo is the same as the typo in the original box. I checked. So they didn't even fix the typo, just so you know. And so it's got to be the same. So Theodora with Heather Harper, Maureen Forrester, Maureen Lehan, Alexander Young, John Lawrenson, Edgar Fleet, Samari. I mean, you know what you're getting. I mean, good, serious, solid music making. You know, I mean, it may be faster now than it was then, and more note complete, but you know, it certainly gives you the sense of the work. And I have, like I said, great feeling and affection for these recordings. Solomon. Okay, this is the Copenhagen Boys Choir, the Vienna Symphony under Mogens Wildeke. This is Saul, pardon me. Yes, right, Saul, on 2 discs. It usually is a bit longer than that, but there's some serious cuts here. And I find this sort of dull and flabby. That's me. Let's see. Solomon. We get Solomon. And Solomon is with Samari and Justino Diaz, Robert Tier, Sheila Armstrong, Felicity Palmer, Michael Rippon. I mean, what a cast. Oh, it's great. And then we've got Semele. Semele is also with Justino Diaz and Mark Deller, countertenor. Okay. Sheila Armstrong, Helen Watts, Robert Tier, Felicity Palmer. You know, I love these. I'm sorry. That's just me. So here they are. Now I stuffed them all back, and that's the 65 CD Brilliant Classics Handel edition. It has some wonderful things. It has some real collector's items. If you're into the discography and the history of Handel performance in the second half of the 20th century, when a lot of these works were really just being discovered and they weren't easily available, and these people were making a very serious effort to bring them to life. And so, you know, next came all the operas, you know, and so we were getting ready. But anyway, here it is, and you know it's the same as the earlier box if you already have it. You can close the garage door. Click. Okay, it closes, and we're in business. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks so much for joining me. Take care.